If you're running a small business, if you are working with family members, your spouse, you've got a small team of people and you're in some sort of creative business, you're producing some really cool stuff for your clients, fantastic. But I hope that this video is going to help you because we work with an awful lot of creative people. And the one thing I've understood about creative people is that when they're off designing things and producing things that just make the world look in and go, wow. And I hope you get that experience sometimes. So you might be an artist or a musician, or you might be an architect or a designer, or any business. It doesn't really matter what it is you do. We also act for engineers and consultants and people like that. But they've all got a creative spirit to them, a creative mind. They're always trying to do things a little bit different. Even when it comes to marketing, doing some creative marketing and just alive with ideas to grow your business. When you're running a business full of ideas and full of enthusiasm, that enthusiasm and that desire to create things can sometimes be tainted, I think that's probably a good word, by the realities of running a business, which require certain disciplines and information and data that sometimes can appear really boring, all right, dull. And I know this because Vicky, my lovely wife and partner in this business, she's not a great fan of a spreadsheet and a flowchart. Now, I'm actually quite creative by nature, and flowcharts and spreadsheets is what I can do to demonstrate that in certain ways and use that data to produce better reporting to help understand accounts and information and data points that's going on in the business. It's what drives me. So we both are creative, but in completely different ways. But when I present a spreadsheet to her, she's like, oh, God, a spreadsheet. All right. In fact, she didn't say that. I can just see it on her face. Okay. But here's the point of this video. What we've developed over the years running businesses, and I've been running my business since the late 1980s, so a long, long time. And I was talking to one of my team members this week, and I laughed because not only have they never worked without a computer, they've never lived without computers in their life. So when I started a business, there was no Google, there was no Windows. Everything was DOS-based and code-based. Technology has changed massively. And in the age of AI, as we're going in now, we have so much data. But more importantly, we've got the tools now to extract that data. So if you're running your business, you may find that you have, I'm going to call them data silos. These silos, or buckets, if you like, of different data within your business that you will be naturally collecting along the way as you travel along your journey to deliver your incredible service or product to your customer. So it could be sales data. You could have a CRM system. It could be your accounting data. It could be a bunch of spreadsheets that have got important data that you update. It could be some other system that you have. Maybe you've got a task management system, or maybe it's just a series of documents, but you'll have all of this data. And the way to test that is to, wherever you store your data, personally, I'm a Google person, so everything's in my Google Drive. I've got terabytes of data in my Google Drive, all across all sorts of folders over many, many years. In fact, I've probably got every bit of digital data I've ever created since the 1980s. Whether I can read some of it or not is irrelevant. But the fact is, I've got it all. You probably have the same. And here's the thing. Here's how much of that data you probably use. In here, probably this much. In there, probably this much. Over here, probably this much. Maybe over this one, you use a bit more, but over here, you probably use this much. We all use a fraction of the data that we have available to us. What's my point? My point is this. I wrote a book many years ago called Money Talks, So Why Aren't We Listening? And it was referencing the accounting data that we have. We have this data, but we don't listen to it. And if I was writing version 2 of that book, I would not just include accounting information, I would include all information, digital information. The digital age that we have, with the digital data that we have, we've got it all. It's talking to us about how we could make more money and have an easier life. But we're not listening. We're not going to these buckets, to these silos and saying, we've got a lot of data here. What does it tell us? And more importantly, how can it help me and my business make more money and have an easier life? How can I actually improve my life? How can I achieve my goals? How can I get rid of the stress and the worry and the over? How can I make a difference to the world? Does this information even matter? I think it does. I think there's a lot of clues in here. And the reason I know that is that one of the things that I do with clients is I sit down and we pull some data out from questions that I ask through coaching and mentoring, and we identify that they have answers to questions that they don't know themselves. They're asking questions. How can I grow my business? How can I make more money? How can I have an easier life? Great. Well, let's have a look, see what you've been doing. This is a complete diary of everything that you've been doing for however long you've been running your business. And in there will be clues. We've just got to ask it. And this is the revelation that's coming right now. We can ask it using your AI tools. We can take this pile of data and we can say to AI, right, I'm going to just spend a few minutes and I'm just going to sort this into buckets, different versions of this. And I'm going to go, right, this relates to this, this relates to this. I'm going to export this data out. I'm going to find out. And I'm basically going to ask AI to tell me what we can learn from within this data. What can we learn from in these silos of data? If you then combine that with some proper help and support to get some clarity over your thinking, if you can combine that with your team and you can actually put a process together to say, do you know what, once a week we're going to sit and do this, once a month we're going to sit and do this, we're going to pull this data out. Why don't we think about the future of what we're trying to do? What does that look like? And what's in the gap between where we want to be and where we are now? What are we trying to achieve here? Is it more sales? Is it more efficiency? Is it better quality clients? Is it being better at what you do? Do we need to do some training? Have we had experience in the past where things have gone really well? Well, what went really well? What didn't go really well? What was the clues? What's in there? We've got AI tools to help us do this now. Challenge your own data. Question it. Now, okay, that's going to take a bit of work. It's going to take a bit of time to do. And if you don't know how to do it, well, ask AI, how would you do this? Or get some professional help in. Get somebody to come in and help you understand what's going on in your business. One of the very first things that I would ask you if I was helping you run your business is, why are you doing it? Not what your problem is or where you're at. Why are you doing this? What is the purpose of your business? And it might be you say, well, I want to make more money. No, that's not the reason why you're building a business. That's just the means to an end. Why are you building it? And if you then start talking about your family and your home and your future and how you want to be in 5 years and how you want to be in 10 years and what you see the vision of the future, I'd also start asking you questions about who do you need to become? Who's the sort of person that's going to live that life? What's got to change? What's got to change in you? What's got to change in your behaviors? Well, including along the way, you might discover that all this information is sitting in your business, but instead of you being the business owner, driving your business forward, using the data to help you run and drive the business and direct the business, that's why we're called directors, okay, leading your team, you might find that you're down in the dirt doing the work. You might find you're the person filling this information in here. Well, that's kind of fine, but is that really what you should be doing? Or should you be taking that creative spirit that you've got inside you and be more creative? Either be more creative for your clients or be more creative in figuring out how you can make your business be better, be more efficient. Well, you don't have to work so hard. I honestly believe all of the traditional businesses that we see, you do not have to work 5, 6, 7 days a week to do it now. if you put the systems in place and the tools in place and you change the way you operate and you actually use the tools available, you can actually run the business on your terms, work when you want to, however you want to, and finally make all this technology work for you, not against you, creating these great silos of information. Years and years of data is there. We just got to go and dig into it and see what we can learn to help us make more money and have an easier life. I know that's what I'm doing. And if you want to find out more, leave some comments below or reach out and book a call with us. Love to have you on board as a client. See you soon.